There is nothing more annoying than when you reject a guy and he's so rude and cold to you after. Like, what do you mean? Like, okay, one, play the long game. Who knows? Maybe it could be something later, maybe just not right now. And two, why are you being an out? Like, just because we're not a good fit doesn't mean you have to be an out.
Guys get friend-zoned, but girls get phoned. A boy stops talking to us suddenly after he gets a girlfriend, or starts ghosting us after we reject his first move. A friendship that we valued, we thought mattered, if only just a little to him, turned out not to matter at all. But in the end, we're the bad guys. We're the ones who lead the good guys on. Of course, we should just expect that's what you always want. We should just expect that friendship is never as valuable as a twist of our hand. They got friend-zoned. They only lost another girl, another rejection. But we lost a friend, someone we thought was worth more. We lost a friend.
Have you ever had a guy friend just completely cut you off out of nowhere with no reason, no explanation, nothing? It's like one day you're here, the next day, boom, you don't matter.
So I lost my best friend today. To be very clear, I was cut off by one of my closest friends. Things are really hurt. This is the message that he sent me. Pause to read, and please read thoroughly.
A lot of women would rather go for the guy that speaks perfectly rather than the guy that gets nervous and stutters and he's a bad first dater. But guys who are the bad first daters turn out to be the greatest life partners.
Well, I just got stood up for a date. First one I planned in a really long time. So I'm gonna go home, but I look really cute. Just wanted someone to see it.
I think she is. That girl's crying. Excuse me. I don't know why you're crying, but I'm glad you are. Halloween, the joke is out.
If I feel like you took me out of your close friends on Instagram, best and believe you're gonna be out of my close friends on my Instagram.
If he blocked you, he loves you. If he blocked you, he actually loves you. Because imagine, this guy cannot stay away from you.
If he's blocked you, this is what you need to do. Respectfully, if that guy has blocked you, leave the guy alone, please. Because when a man blocks you, he's at his wit's end.
He blocked me on literally everywhere. I guess he never wants me back. Well, girl, I've definitely been there before too.
If the guy has literally blocked you on every single platform, there might be a reason for that.
I blocked the guy I used to talk to on Instagram because he hurt my feelings. And yesterday I was just checking in on the account as one does. And I saw that he blocked me back. He blocked me back. Like, could I just have this one thing? Like, could this be mine? I'm so annoyed. But finally, the feelings in the relationship are mutual.
Y'all, my ex be so quick to block me on everything. But I'm trying to figure out where all that energy was at when I was telling him to block them. Where all that energy was at? You fugly
These are the only 4 possible reasons that guy blocked you. Number 1, you are completely bonkers. Your behavior scared him a little bit. Maybe you gave him stalker vibes and he thought to himself, I want this girl as far away from me as possible. I don't want to be the next baby reindeer victim.
He blocked me. Literally.
Am I the for blocking my ex when she broke up with me? My 19 male ex-girlfriend, 20 female, of 3 years broke up with me Sunday night over text. She told me that she felt like my lack of ambition was holding her back and she needed to move on with her life because she felt like I didn't value her. When she sent me that, I just sent okay and blocked her and fell asleep shortly after. I did not block her friends and had loads of messages yesterday morning when I woke up. They were asking me to unblock her and to talk to her. My sister, 20 female, is also friends with my ex-girlfriend, and she told me that my ex was hurt by my sudden blocking and that she still wanted to talk to me for closure and wanted to make sure I was okay. I told my sister that I was okay and that I didn't want to talk to my ex, but would like it if she could tell her that I appreciate her checking on me. My sister was not happy with this and told me that it was a hard decision for my ex and... Sorry. There's nothing funny happening.
You're dying.
My sister was not happy with this and told me that it was a hard decision for my ex and she just wants to talk to me. I again told her that I was fine and that I'd rather not. My sister then told me that I'm acting insanely calm for being broken up with someone that I was with for 3 years. I told her that I was fine. She again asked if I cried, and I told her that I didn't and just fell asleep listening to music. My sister told me that she was concerned about my lack of emotion and told me that my behavior isn't normal. I told her that I'm not obligated to cry over anything, and I think it's weird that she was acting like I was. My sister once again told me that it wouldn't hurt to have one conversation with my ex because she was still worried about me and wanted to stay friends. I once again told her that I was fine and I didn't want to talk to her. She told me that my lack of compassion is psychotic. That pissed me off, so I started ignoring her and eventually she left me alone. This morning when I woke up, my sister sent me a bunch of text messages again, so I blocked her. And because of this, she went and told our parents, and they are upset with me for blocking my ex without communicating first. They said that we've been together long enough and they thought of her as a second daughter. I was just aggravated at this point.
So confused.
And told them that I'd appreciate if they mind their business, but they didn't stop, so I told them that I wouldn't hesitate to block them too if they continue.
Going crazy.
Which caused them to stop. They apologized to me and told me they didn't mean any harm, but it just felt like it was inconsiderate of me to block her without talking about it first, but they won't press me to talk to her if I don't want to. And then top comment before we get to the reaction, somebody said, nobody putting the point that she broke up with him via text. A 3-year relationship? What the
Right?
And then somebody else said, my partner of 12 years broke up with me over text and I blocked him. So same energy.
Let's talk about the 5 things that men should take care of when they're dating, in a relationship, married, whatever. Number 1. Do not ask your lady to pay for anything. When you guys are together, you pay. That is what a man does. You pay. If you are together, you're not asking her for money. You're not saying Venmo me. You pay. Number 2. Do not expect your lady to deep clean the house. I'm not talking everyday clean, but you'll either help out in deep cleaning or hire someone to come to clean once a month to do the deep cleaning. Like, just because you have a wife or a girlfriend doesn't mean she's responsible for cleaning up your stains in the toilet. Number 3, take care of the vehicles, right? Do the oil changes. If there needs to be tires rotated, take care of that. That is your job as a man. Take care of the cars. Do it on the weekends, no big deal. Number 4, make sure that her gas tank is always full. That is your job. Fill up her gas tank. Kind of rolls into the maintaining the cars thing. Fill up the gas tank. And number 5, take out the garbage. Simple as that. Take out the garbage. Should be no problem hitting all 5 of these things as a man. And don't worry, follow along for my 5 things the woman should do for the man to keep a relationship successful and happy. But those are the 5 that, at the bare minimum, that the man should be taking care of.
Okay, if you're dating a guy and you're not sure what he's looking for, consult with your brother and your dad. Oh, and one more thing, listen to them because they're always right.
Finally, somebody with some common sense.
So my 16-year-old daughter went away this weekend for a birthday trip with her friends, and my husband gave her $200 in cash. Was it $200 in cash? $200 in cash for the weekend. Food, if she wanted to go buy something while she was there, because it was a 4-day weekend and they were looking forward to this for so long. So we were like, here's $200. About 2 hours into the trip, the Capital One goes off. Little notification. It says $12.96 has been spent. And so he looks at me and he goes, she's using that Capital One. I said, what is she using the Capital One for? You gave her $200 in cash for food, whatever, So a couple hours later, there it goes again. So that night we get on the phone with her. We're like, hey, what's going on? Why are you using our credit card? She goes, well, that's for food. I said, I don't understand what that means. That's for food. We gave you $200 for food, for fun, for a fantastic time. And she goes, oh no, food doesn't count in that $200. The $200 was mine. That's what she says. The $200 was mine. The Capital One is for food because you guys have to pay for my food. I think every teenager on this planet has lost their minds. Lost their minds. Absolutely lost their minds.
I think this is an interesting one because you have people in the comments saying 200 cash would be great for food, fun, and souvenirs in 2006. Is this rage bait? Thinking $200 would cover 16 meals and fun is preposterous. $200 for 4 days. Where did she go? 1994. It's all fun and games until you actually study and analyze what the young lady said. At 16, if you're getting $16 meals every single time, you can't get the most lavish meal. You're right. You can't go for broke and get every single thing with $200. They gave you $200. I think they were looking for her to be a little bit more responsible with the $200. That means, okay, I really, really want this food over here. I'm going to save my money for that. And during the day, I can go get something to eat, maybe at McDonald's. It's not going to cost that much. Or in the morning, I can eat something for breakfast at the hotel. Most hotels have continental breakfast. This is where it starts. And this is what is teaching our young ladies entitlement. This is where you get the modern women attitude from. It's already at 16 infiltrated this young lady. I think that's my opinion. You wonder why they act like this. You wonder why next time when she's 20 something years old, she's going to be asking for a man to bake $100,000. He's got to be 6 feet because that's what you're supposed to be. That's how I expect it to be. This is what, and we see it right here in real time where the attitude starts. Young, hitting that credit card, hitting that credit card, hitting that credit card. Why are you doing that? We expected you, is what they're saying, to be responsible, to be a little bit more frugal with your money. Your dad and I work hard. And for people in the comments, we know that they don't have any common sense. People in the comments saying, this is preposterous for food. Now I can see it's like, well, we went to an amusement park. I want to know, okay, are you going to an amusement park or are you just hanging out? What are you doing? Going to an arcade versus amusement park? Now I can see if you went to an amusement park. Okay, cool, fine. But if you're just hanging out around the city, y'all are not really doing anything. You're just hanging around the motel. You go to this antique shop over here. You go to the antique shop over here. Are you going to be able to buy anything and everything? No, you're not. And that's the point. With what we give you, pick what you really like, get that, and then the rest of it, you need food. And then whenever you run out of that, you've got the credit card for emergencies. Wow. Modern women logic. Once again, why men don't want to be bothered with women. You broke up with him. He decided that was it, fell asleep listening to music, and you have a problem with that. You wanted him to chase you, to beg, to try a little bit harder, and he didn't. And you're upset about that. You're thrown off kilter, and you want some sort of pull from him. I want you to want me even though I don't want you. I want you to still give me validation until I find the next guy. And then you'll be a creep. He decided he didn't want to play that game and walked off. Kudos to you. And also kudos to you for continuing to stand up to your parents and your sister when they started that nonsense. Drawing boundaries and standing on business. This is the type of behavior that I believe men should have. I know his parents probably meant well. They were probably shocked. His sister was probably shocked. It was a good story to them. It was like, oh man, for sure. It's in the bag. They're going to get married. They've been together this long. And you saw his parents thought of her as a second daughter. So he's like, oh yeah, you're already in the family. And then all of a sudden it's over. The story's over. Maybe there's something that you guys need to talk about. There's got to be more to the story. No, it's over. Whether you like the story or not, it's done. Accept it like I did and move on. It's my story. I don't have to keep on writing if I don't want to. And he didn't. Once again, kudos to him for having respect for himself to go a different direction and to say, if you guys continue to do that stuff to me, I'm going to start ignoring you too. You tried it and you failed. Have a good life, lady.
My girlfriend of 4 years rejected my proposal because she wanted more time. Am I the asshole for breaking up with her and kicking her out of my apartment? I was in a relationship with my girlfriend for 4 years. We really loved each other. My family loved her, her family loved me. We had discussions of marriage, we made plans for the future, how many kids we wanted, etc. My girlfriend was always extremely excited about it. Over the last few months, I was giving her consistent hints that I was going to propose to her. And last weekend, I booked a nice resort where I would plan to propose to her at a private place. Well, when I did propose to her, she somehow seemed shocked about it and asked if she could have a few more months. That just completely stunned me and was one of the most heartbreaking moments of my life. My girlfriend kept apologizing, saying she just needed to be in the right mental space. And right then, she wasn't. She cried and promised me that we were technically engaged, she just needed a few more months to officially accept the proposal. I felt empty, sad, and embarrassed. I felt horrible. When we returned back to our apartment, she was apologizing a lot, and there was a lot of crying. The whole situation for me was so heartbreaking and embarrassing that I could not talk about it with any of my friends or even my parents. I can only consult my siblings. My siblings had completely contrasting opinions. My brother told me that maybe she got cold feet, and a lot of people get cold feet, and just to give her some time because she seems like a genuine person. However, my sister told me that what my girlfriend did was girl code for cheating, and that my girlfriend was probably ashamed of accepting my proposal, given that she most likely was having an affair. My sister told me that my girlfriend would probably call off the affair in the next couple of months, after which she would be more comfortable accepting the proposal. Completely contrasting opinions, but I sided with my sister because my brother gets a bit naive at times. The more I thought about it, the more what my sister said made logical sense, and that just shattered my heart even more. So a couple of days ago, after my girlfriend came back from work, I told her that we were done and that she had a couple of hours to pack up and leave. I gave her no heads up about it. I gave no reason, and she was shocked and talked a lot, asking why, but at this point, I just didn't trust her anymore. She obviously cried, but I was over it. A couple hours later, her friend came to pick her up, and I blocked her number so I didn't get any more texts. I'm still suffering a lot, but it will take a lot of time to heal through this. Am I the asshole? I think if anything, what you should have done is talk to your girlfriend, communicate, and figure out exactly why she feels that she is not ready, and then go from there. If you suspected her having an affair based solely off of what your sister said, you should have at least talked to your girlfriend about it. One of the top comments says, does your sister not like this girl or something? Because this isn't a girl code I've ever heard of before. It does sound like maybe she is thinking twice about things, and I can see how that would be upsetting. But you and your sister really jumped on that conclusion and made a huge decision over something you just think happened. That sounds like your emotions did your thinking for you, and that is not usually a good way to go. I hesitate to say that you are the asshole, but you are not thinking clearly at the very least. What do you guys think? What are our opinions?
I mean, you rejected his marriage proposal after being together for 4 years. If you wanted to, you would. Why does that not apply to women? There was somebody in the comments that said, if you don't know after 4 years whether you want to marry somebody or not, and you need extra time, then you don't want to marry them. What are you thinking about at that point in time? Maybe he took this long to propose. I don't know if he's truly serious about me. Do I want to do this? If that was the case, then you should have gotten out of the relationship. But the fact of the matter is, and maybe you won't take accountability for this, or maybe you're not holding her accountable for this. Maybe she was out there floating in the wind, just hanging out. And then if he were to cut it off, he would have been the bad guy. Oh, you strung me along for 4 years. How dare you? And in this case, in this scenario, she decides, I'm going to reject the proposal because I'm going to think a little bit more. What would have happened if she would have came back and she would have said, you know what? I appreciate the proposal, but you're just not for me. Oh, wait a minute. We don't have to imagine that. Check out this next clip.
My really good friends from high school was dating this guy, and this story has never left my mind because she was dating him for, I want to say like 3 or 4 years. Like, it was a long time. And she tells me, she's like, yeah, so we broke up, like, randomly. I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? What happened? Like, I truly thought they were getting married. And she did too. And she was saying, she was like, I just like knew in my gut for a long time that like there was something off, right? Like just something. And I didn't know exactly what. All of these like feelings came at a flooding like moment because him and her were on the beach and they're walking, and it was such a cute like trip. They're walking, it's like the sun setting. It's the perfect time for him to propose, right? He kneels down, and she said instantly her heart was like, no, like, you're not my person. Please don't be, like, stop. Like, that was her initial reaction. This is a movie moment. 2 seconds later, he comes up and he had just picked up a seashell. He wasn't even proposing.
It's funny because the comments on this video in response to her dumping him are a little bit different. She says, it's giving. Sometimes you just don't know the answer till someone's on their knee and asks you. Somebody else said, it's always better to have this sort of clarity before marriage, kids, mortgage, etc. Somebody else said, life always drops little hints to help us all. Does it? Somebody said, at least she had the courage to break it off. Some people don't marry for love, and that's absolutely horrible to do to somebody. It's not like the girl kept dating the guy knowing that she didn't want to marry him, like she was playing him. She believed that they were going to get married until that moment. And to me, figuring that out before legally getting married is so much better than signing the papers and then figuring out you don't want to be married to them and having to go through the divorce process. So now she's a hero. And now the man is a jerk for what he did. She cut it off in this situation as soon as she decided, oh, you're not my person. But then when he was like, you know what? You're not my person. And why don't you move out the way? Then all of a sudden, it's a problem.